good morning. Okay, this might be short because I might cry because Sarah is a dear, dear friend of mine. We all know Sarah as the co-founder of GIFF, the Guanajuato International Film Festival, but I'm going to talk about Sarah as a friend, as a mother, as a daughter, as a grandmother, and as a wife. Sarah and I have been friends for a while, but the pandemic really, really brought us closer together. We would WhatsApp. We were one of the families who stayed at home, did all the right things.
Interesting that he did
We
not.
would share recipes together, try to be productive, and try to make the best out of the pandemic. Sarah is, despite doing all the things that she does, she is an on-hands grandmother and mother. She prepares beautiful meals, sets the table every day, decorates for all the holidays, makes sure everyone is active and learning and productive. She is truly, truly an amazing, amazing woman and role model. Sarah is a force to be reckoned with. Sarah is a doer. Sarah never gives up. Despite us doing all the right things, COVID came to both of our homes. We were both sick. Our families were both sick at the same time. We were constantly talking to each other. Unfortunately, Sarah lost her father, then her husband, and then her mother to this virus. But despite all of that, Sarah remained my cheerleader, remained my confidant. She got up, she got dressed, just like her mother taught her to do. She did everything she needed to do. Just a month after we got well, the vaccination brigades came. And by golly, Sarah wrote to me and said, I want to go and volunteer with you at a vaccination brigade because I don't want to be part of the casualty. I want to be part of the solution. So Sarah to me is someone that I admire her strength and I admire her will to continue. And I urge everyone to go out and support this wonderful, wonderful festival because this year it's an homenaje in honor of Ernesto, her lover, her partner, founder of this amazing, amazing festival. So with that, I turn it over to the amazing, amazing person I can call my friend, Sarah.
Well, now we're all crying. Well, that makes it tough. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
I love you.
Thank you. Well, it's an honor to be here this morning with the Rotary Club. We try and come every year. I think we missed last year because we were all a little overwhelmed with COVID, and we weren't really sure if we were going to have a festival. And in the end, we didn't have a festival in San Miguel because San Miguel had other conditions that were, I guess, stronger, or San Miguel was still closed when the festival started and we were doing some presencial. I hope I can do this in English, you guys. I'm used to doing it in Spanish and I've been giving interviews every day for about a month and I've got my spiel down in Spanish, but I'll do my best to do it in English. We did have a festival last year. We had it in Silao, in Guanajuato, and in Irapuato. We are doing it in more cities with less number of people. For those of you who have attended the festival, you know it's like massive and it's thousands and thousands of people. The state was worried that we wouldn't be able to do it because too many people would come and it would break all the rules. But we did a really good job, I think, of announcing the festival, but asking everybody not to come. And it was a hybrid festival. It will be a hybrid festival this year as well. We have a streaming platform similar to Netflix, and we'll be screening 170 films. We can have 1,000 people watch each film on this platform. The platform, you can access it from our webpage. And we also have a virtual reality world where you attend as an avatar. Last year, we built the Teatro Juarez within our world, and it was heavy because we built so much of our real world within this faux world. And so it was heavy, it was hard to get in, it was hard to get out. You had to have excellent internet and also a gaming type computer. It helped if you had goggles for virtual reality, which you'd think not many people do, but thousands of people do. And it was well attended. But this year we learned our lesson from the virtual reality space, and we didn't build anything in it. And it's at the beach, and they're outdoor venues, even though we could go indoor in the virtual world. But in that space, we'll be having conferences. We do all of our educational activities within that world. So there are workshops and talleres, and we'll also have some parties, and our avatars. My avatar dances much better than I dance, and it's lots of fun. You can have your virtual tequila and beer on the beach, but you can also have it at home. And it's as you are there in the virtual world, you can turn on your camera, and you have individual pantallas, individual screens, so you can actually see each other when you're talking as well. But it's an interesting concept. We have a very young audience, as you know, and an international audience, and many of them are equipped with the best of the equipment so that they can have the super immersive experience. All our virtual reality films will be screened there, but you can also attend from your laptops, and it's pretty cool. So I hope you guys will also try our virtual world. I'm going to put on a video of what the festival looked like last year. We tried to run it a little while ago, and we're having problems with the audio. So if you can only see it, just enjoy the view, and hopefully you can hear it because the music's good too.
There's no audio.
Yeah, and you're not gonna have it because for some reason it won't go through. But we had 3 drive-ins last year, in Silao, in Irapuato, and in Guanajuato. And we also had a float-in, which was a drive-in with boats in the Presa de la Olla. Oh, now it's gonna come on this over here. It was a huge success. We had a large audience. We were very careful with temas of COVID. Our online activities. This is our virtual world. David Lynch was there. It was his first time as an avatar, my first time as an avatar, and he really enjoyed it. It was great. And that was last year. This year, we're attempting to go. Si quieres quítalo totalmente y voy a hablar. We're attempting to go into theaters this year. Our hope, we set the dates for September, as was last year. We set the dates for September last year, hoping that the curve would go down. We were the first festival in Mexico of all the festivals to happen after COVID, and we wrote the protocol for health restrictions, and it was a protocol that then some 50 odd festivals used after us this whole year. We're writing new protocols for this year. We decided to do it in September again. Our hope was that the majority of the Mexican population would be vaccinated for September. Obviously, we know that's not the case. Our target age, which are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, the great majority of them have only been vaccinated once. The 40-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, some have been vaccinated once, most have not, and no 20-year-olds have been vaccinated. So that has been a concern. Right now, we are planning to be in León, San Miguel de Allende, and Guanajuato Capital. I'm going to give you just a little bit of background information on the festival before we get into what's happening this year. Mabel, ¿me pasas la presentación? So last year, as a result of our online practices, we went from having 110,000 attendees to the film festival to having 330,000. So it tripled because of our virtual world and our online activities and our streaming. So we realized that this was a huge opportunity to grow a new audience. These are people who probably weren't able to come to the festival because they could fill out a form. And for many of these people, that was the first time they've had access to the film festival. So we realized that these are herramientas. These are, I'm not gonna know that word in English. These are activities, these are ways of attending the festival that really work, that even hopefully someday we'll be out of a virus contaminated planet and we will be able to go back to a life that we knew before. But even if that happened, we would continue with our digital activities because it really allows the film festival to come into so many more people's homes. ¿Lo cambias? Last year we did 4 salas in Cinemex. To get closer, we screened, we did 50 functions, 50 screenings. We did 12 feature films, 10 programs of short films, and 553 special events. For the presencial, we did 2 autocinemas with 24 functions, 20 films, and 3,720 people attended. We did 1 aquacinema, which had 12 films, and 1,588 people attended. In the drive-ins, as in the aquacinema, we had picnics and food trucks. So as you got in your boat, you could buy your picnic lunch or your picnic dinner with little red wine. It could be romantic, it could be a family event. We had children's screenings in the morning with waffles and pancakes and lots of whipped cream on it and things, you know, they all brought bread to feed the ducks, and it was great fun. GIFF Online is our streaming platform. We had 137 films last year, 10,800 people watched. How many films? The average was that each person watched 3 films. So that's why there were 32,000 screenings. And it's interesting because in Netflix, the average time of a film or a series being watched is 10 to 15 minutes, which I always find shocking that people leave and move on to another film. But in our platform, 90% of the people watch the film in its entirety. And so those are really good numbers. And we found it really interesting that people were excited about the films. We did conferences online. We had 261,000 people attend them. We did 1 tribute, which was to David Lynch. We did 16 conferences and panels. We did 34, sorry, I have to get really close to read it. 34 Q&A sessions. So as you know, when you go to a film festival, and the exciting part of going to film festival is that you have your directors and actors and everybody there, and you can do Q&A and you can really talk about the films. We've taken this on a digital level as well. We do it with well-known film critics in Mexico and Latin America who interviewed these film directors. So it's been really interesting to follow along and to learn more about each film. Sometimes they're done in English, sometimes they're done in Spanish. The majority of the films on our platform, as well in our space, are shown in the language of the film, of the country the film is produced in, with English subtitles. All competition films also have Spanish subtitles. We did a couple of workshops, and we did 2 social platform campaigns, which have been our social platform campaigns for many years. We do a no violence campaign for women, and also we do a campaign called Yo Me Comprometo, I commit myself, and it's a campaign against suicide. Guanajuato has one of the largest levels of suicide, numbers of suicide in the country. And so we've taken this on with the Secretaría de Salud as one of our social platforms for the film festival. Mabel? And GIFF Online here, just our numbers, 52,000 users, 48,000 new users, which was huge, and that's our webpage. So that just shows you all the people who hadn't used the webpage. Usually when you're an event that is presencial, where people are attending, they don't always go to the webpage, they use our app. But because we had so much attendance and new attendance online, they went to our webpage to enter our virtual world and to go to our screening platforms. And it'll be the same this year. This is our virtual campus. We had 527 avatars. We only paid for 500, so we got 27 extra, so that was good. We had participants from 110 cities and 14 countries. We did 16 screenings of our Selección Oficial in competition for virtual. We did 6 concerts, and these are virtual live concerts. So the band is actually playing, and they're playing in a studio, and they have their own avatars, and their own avatars play, but they are not pre-taped concerts. They're actually happening in real time. We had 8 pitching projects, 100 meetings around industry. We had, again, in this virtual world, we had David Lynch. We had a conference with him as well and gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award. And 4 specific panels of discussion on new technologies. So GIFF 2021, let's see what we've got next, Mabel. We'll be in León, Guanajuato from the 18th to the 20th. We are 3 days in each city. Again, we are in more cities, less time, and hopefully with less people than we normally are used to. We have been asked this year to invite in a limited manner because the state and the 3 cities are hoping to reactivate culturally and turísticamente, tourist in the tourist ambiance. And so we are in León 3 days, then we move to San Miguel. We'll be here the 21st, the 23rd, through the 23rd of September, and we'll be in Irapuato from the 24th to the 25th. We'll be on digital through the entire festival, which is the 17th to the 26th. We're in San Miguel de Allende. We are in the main square. We do not have the numbers that we're allowed to seat at this time. It looks like it's 500 today with the semáforo anaranjado, but that decision will be made in September when we are closer to the event. The state is allowing 500, but San Miguel itself will probably be lower. So we're just waiting to find out how many chairs we can actually set up. And it's our main sede because it is outside, and we'll be doing most of our activities there. We are hoping to be in El Nigromante and Bellas Artes, but they have not opened yet. They have not been able to develop their protocols for COVID a year and a half later. It's one of the few cultural centers that isn't open in the state, but many of the federal cultural centers are not open yet. I kind of think COVID isn't the reason, but federal budgeting is more the reason. We are hoping they open in time, but it's not looking good. So that one's kind of waiting in the wings. We are in Plaza Luciérnaga with Dos Salas de Cine, and we're doing 2 cinema picnics, one at the playa in Los Senderos, and the other cinema picnic is, se me escapa. I'm trying to remember where the other one is. I'll remember and get back to you on that. And those will be happening every night, as well as screenings online. And we have Women in Film and Television happening in San Miguel, and we'll be presenting tributes to women in film and television. The rally, the 48-hour production rally, which are 6 universities from all over the country, will be taking off in a 48-hour competition, shooting their films in San Miguel, and we'll be presenting them the last days of San Miguel. We have an international guest who has confirmed, but we are not announcing him until next week. This year, we did a call internationally for films in competition. We received 3,275 films from 132 countries, which is the largest number of countries we've ever received films from. We didn't think we were going to get any films at all because everybody was at home for a year, and it ends up a lot of people had films they needed to edit. So while they were home, a lot of editing went on, and we were shocked at the large number of films. We received, out of that, 926 films from Mexico, from all 32 states.
De Cine Guanajuato, 24 cuadros por segundo, 24 ediciones de vida, un festival híbrido, una celebración incluyente, un espacio diseñado para ti, una exclamación de más cine permanente. Vive una experiencia cinematográfica imposible de perderse. Del 18 al 20 de septiembre en León, San Miguel de Allende del 21 al 23 de septiembre, Irapuato del 24 al 26 de septiembre. Toda la información en GIFF.mx.
¿Le voy a llevar al siguiente? This year, our theme is 24. We're 24 cuadros por segundo on our 24th year. And as Terry mentioned earlier, the festival is dedicated to Ernesto Herrera, who is the co-founder of the festival and was with me for 24 years with the festival. He was the art director of the festival, did all the posters that are behind me, did all the commercial work, did all the video work, all the production of the festival, the themes, did a lot of the writing for the festival, and touched a lot of lives, not only as a festival director, but he was also a graphic artist. It was extremely successful. He was an installation artist, participated in contemporary art festivals around the world. He was a photographer, and he directed, and he was a founder of a theater group, a well-known theater group in León. He was an escenógrafo. I'm not sure how you say that in English. He did scenery. for theater. He was an art director for theater, an award-winning art director for theater as well. And so we decided to go to León this year because Ernesto was from León, and León as a city and the Forum Cultural of Guanajuato, which is their large arts and cultural campus in León, got together and asked us to please consider doing his tribute in his city of birth. And of course, we hadn't thought of that, and that was really important. So we moved his tribute night and many of the activities to León. We'll be doing activities here in San Miguel, and we'll be posting all the activities of the film festival after our press conference on the 6th of September. No queda más, ¿verdad? Ok, si quieres quitarlo. So that's a little bit of what the film festival will be like this year. You can find out about all the programming, all the films, all the times. As soon as we put our program up on the 6th, we're working really hard to find another place, a second option for Bellas Artes if it doesn't open. And we hope everybody will attend, whether it's in the Jardín or in the cinemas or online with us during the film festival. I don't know if there's any questions or where we no questions.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Sarah, for being here. I have volunteered in previous film festivals in other cities. Are you welcoming volunteers?
We do have volunteers. We do a call for volunteers nationally for young university students, usually because they're excellent slaves and they're really hardworking and they work day and night, and they get college credit, they get servicio social credit when they work with us. And so we do a call for entry. We get about 500 young people sign up for it, and we select about 120. And this year we have selected that group, and we're not taking many local volunteers because it's a complicated time during COVID to be a volunteer, and we have really strict regulations. You have to go through a lot of courses in order to be a volunteer for the film festival. You have to learn how to aplicar pruebas de COVID, and you have to follow really strict equipment, uniforms. They're really hot, they're horrible, and people complain a lot, and even young people complain a lot. So we're sticking with our young team of volunteers. But thanks.
Sarah, there are some questions that have come up in chat. One is from Carol Troy, who I think is representing Leica Style magazine, a new international magazine. How do we get to the press conference?
The press conference on the 6th will be online. You can follow us in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. This press conference in particularly, we are not doing physically. We've done a couple this year, but this one, because it's spiking now, we've decided to do it online. If you would like to cover the film festival and be an official media for the film festival, there is a section on our webpage, and you write to prensa@guanajuatofilmfestival.com, and you ask to be considered as an official media for the festival, and that will give you access to all of the events.
Okay, we have a question from Rotarian Tom Schneider. Tell us a little bit about the virtual avatar, how to participate as an avatar, and is there a fee or donations?
It's free. Everything in the film festival is free, and it continues to be free, which has been really rough because it's been so difficult to put on an event. Number one, during COVID, and then number two, with huge cuts in federal, state. Well, the state did not cut us, actually. They've been very supportive. The cities have been very supportive, but the private sector has been hit pretty bad too. So we're pulling up, but the event is still free. And you go to our webpage and there'll be a section for the virtual world. You can't go now because it's not activated yet, and it won't be activated to sign up until after the 6th. But there'll be a little video that tells you exactly how to get on. And once you get in there, it's a step-by-step, and you make your avatar and you put on your hair, and it can either look like you or it doesn't have to look like you. Generally, they look like you. You make it so it looks like you. And there will be a program there, and you can sign up and attend most programs as an avatar. It's a tutorial. It'll teach you how to do it. It's pretty easy. This year's a lot easier than last year, and almost any laptop will work. You do need good internet, but it doesn't have to be state-of-the-art internet. I mean, it should. If you do have good internet at home, it should work.
Sarah, I have a question. In a normal year, what kind of financial impact I know everything connected with the festival itself is free, but there's got to be a financial impact here in the city. Do you have those numbers here for San Miguel?
Yeah, usually it's 260 million is the economic impact from the film festival. Million pesos, which is $20 million. Which is the economic impact from the film festival. We also generate 1,000 millones de pesos, 1,000 million, which is a billion. I guess I don't know in English. It's a billion. Is that a billion? 1,000 million. It's more than a billion. It's 10 billion, right? I don't know. We need an accountant here. But anyway, we generate in publicity that no pagado, what we don't pay for, publicity that's not paid for, in national and international press for the cities where the event is realized, as well as the films and the film industry.
Now, I would imagine that that's not going to be the case this year.
It's not.
No.
It won't be. Last year, the press was like, well, what do you think your derrama económica will be? What the economic impact? And we're like, well, we're told not to invite anybody. So it's going to be hard to fill hotels if we're told nobody come. And that was really our message last year. It's going to be fabulous. Don't come. The festival's for the people who live in each city, and join us online. And that's what happened. This year, we see in León that hotels are starting to reserve, and León is a new city, so they're really gung-ho and spending a lot of time with us. And we have our bi-weekly meeting with the city and our weekly meeting with the Forum Cultural, and they are doing a lot of statistic works, and they're already checking to see if the film festival is impacting the city at all. And they're really excited. They said, we love it so much, you're never leaving. So it's really nice to be in a city that's in love with us. You know what I mean? San Miguel has always been fabulous. It's always been a city where the private sector as well as the government jumps on board. They participate. They help us organize it. San Miguel has always been fabulous, but Guanajuato has been a challenge. Always has been a challenge. Guanajuato is a challenge, and now Guanajuato capital, and now it's even more of a challenge. So for us to be in Irapuato and be in León, where they're really excited to finally have the film festival, it's a good year for us, and so we're really happy to be there. And we hope that people from San Miguel will go to León. León always came to San Miguel and Guanajuato when we were there, and as you know, if you've ever attended the film festival, that what happens in each city is not duplicated in each city. Each city has their own guests, their own films, their own activities. So if you want to live the entire festival experience, you need to come to all three cities.
Now, we're familiar with a lot of us are familiar with, what we see on TV with the Cannes Film Festival. And, you see a lot of very famous people walking the red carpets at Cannes. So are we going to see any famous people here in San Miguel?
You are. Well, it's a difficult, you didn't see many famous people in Cannes. You saw some. It was a difficult year for Cannes. We're partners with Cannes. We we're partners in developing new talent, new story with Cannes, and we do a residency program with Cannes every year. And this year it's been a tough year for Cannes, for Berlin, as far as guests go. Historically, you do see a lot of famous film people come through the Guanajuato International Film Festival. We have a couple of confirmations this year that are right now confirmed digitally, and we're trying to talk them into San Miguel. San Miguel is a great hook for bringing in people from the industry because they know about San Miguel, they think they love San Miguel, or they've been here and they do love San Miguel. And so San Miguel is whether they go to León or they go to Irapuato, they will undoubtedly stay in San Miguel because that's where everybody wants to be. And so you will see them at the restaurants and downtown. You see a lot of Mexican actors and directors. It's a problem. COVID is a problem. I mean, everybody started shooting their films and their series trying this summer, and they're still trying to shoot right now in the fall. And they have little nucleos, little groups that they get tested for COVID every day. They can't leave that group. They can't leave the hotel, or they get fired from their series or their movie. And so it's hard to bring people in because they can't leave that little bubble. But we do have confirmations and we do have people coming. And yes, you will see some famous faces.
But you're not ready to share those names with us, right?
No, I have a press conference coming up on the 6th.
Oh, yeah.
And no.
Okay. Leave it a hint. Yeah.
And you know what? I won't believe it till they're actually on the plane. You know what I mean? Because I'm on a jury in Egypt, and right after the festival in October, I am to leave for Egypt, and I have everything ready, but I'm still on the fence about going to Egypt. And I think people are on the fence about going anywhere, really. And
Oh, yeah.
we'll see. We'll see who is brave enough to come, or in good enough health to come, or can get out of their movie bubble. And we won't actually know till they're here, I don't think.
David Bossman, you've raised your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to compliment Sarah again. She always does a great job. The Guanajuato Film Festival has always been our favorite festival in San Miguel. And despite all the adversity, I encourage everybody to participate, whether virtually or in person. It is a great, great experience. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you to your staff.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Anybody have any questions? Any more questions for Sarah? Before we have one more question. Sir, go ahead.
My question is, how do you have to reserve a seat in the Jardín for the outdoor?
I don't know whether you heard that, Sarah. Do you have to reserve a seat in the Jardín?
You don't. It's going to be first come, first serve. There will be some standing availability. We'll see what Protección Civil allows us to do. In times of COVID, it's really up in the air, but we have made the decision not to reserve because people don't show, and then people are without a seat. So it's going to be first come, first serve.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Sarah, I want to thank you for joining us today. Good luck with the festival. I know that you're going to have just a very, very successful event. I'm blown away by the fact that you've got 3 times the numbers of participants with going on a virtual kind of a hybrid type of a program. All right. So for your appearance today, for being here, we have something special for you, suitable for framing. Ron, you want to put it up on the big screen here? Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no. Here it is. Okay. So the Rotary Club, Midday Rotary Club of San Miguel de Allende presents this certificate of appreciation to you, Sarah, for your presentation to our club, and a donation of 10 polio immunizations will be made in your honor to the End Polio Now campaign. We will email the certificate to you. And again, we want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. It's been fabulous. Sorry I couldn't be there, you guys. I'm really trying to take care not to get sick before the film festival.
Very good, very good.
Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, want to thank you for joining us next week. A big meeting with our new mayor of San Miguel de Allende, Mauricio Trejo. And with that, immediately after this meeting, our membership committee will gather. But for right now, this meeting is adjourned.